Hey everyone, it's Don with Don's Field of Dreams Cards with my 2023 YouTube Sports Cards Hall of Fame votes. Love the YouTube Hall of Fame little event we do here, and it's my third year to vote. I was lucky my first year was before the 1 year rule came into effect, so I got to vote after only being on YouTube for 2 months. 10 guys I voted for, I think 8 of them I've met in person, and a lot of people commented, oh, people just vote for your friends. And heck yeah, I did vote for my friends because I saw them on YouTube and their channel before I ever met them, and I liked their channel. And then I got to meet them in person, and I liked them even more. So yeah, most of the people I'm voting for, I consider friends. And the 2 that I haven't met in person, I have a pretty good feeling I'd be good friends with them too. So excited to announce who I'm going to vote for. There's one video on here because I went around Pittsburgh showing kind of historical sports sites in Pittsburgh to do my my votes, and I went into a card shop and I kind of cut it pretty abruptly because the video ended up being 20 to 30 minutes long walking around the card shop. So it's a video for a future time. So with no further ado, here are my 10 votes. Here I am in Carnegie, Pennsylvania. Not Carnegie, like many of you might think, but we do pronounce this town Carnegie in Pittsburgh. And this is the hometown of a very famous baseball player, and he continued to live here after he retired. Let's zoom in here. We got Honus Wagner. The Flying Dutchman was hailed as baseball's greatest shortstop and one of the finest all-around players, a lifelong Carnegie resident. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. But my vote is for the vintage composer. And like I said earlier, not all of these famous sites here in Pittsburgh are going to be based exactly on the person I'm voted for, but one of the greatest players in history. And I really feel that Mike brings history alive with his channel, fabulous videos that he makes, and they're much watched for me. And so Mike, the vintage composer, gets my vote. Here I am in downtown Pittsburgh. Hopefully I don't get hit crossing the street here. Mural of some of the famous pirates in pirate history. I believe that's Ralph Kiner, maybe. The Wayner brothers. Denny Murtaugh. Josh Gibson. Billy Stargell. Bill Mazeroski. Roberto Clemente. Honus Wagner, amongst others. So this pretty much sums up all of Pittsburgh as far as pirate history goes. And there's a collector who collects it all. He's even got 3 or 4 copies of sets. Gone to several card shows with him, and he's a fellow Pittsburgher. And my vote for the Baseball Hall of Fame, Sports Card Hall of Fame, is Dean Gearhart. I collect it all. Here I am outside of Pittsburgh Paints Arena, where the greatest hockey player who ever lived is right here. The greatest hockey player of all time, Mario Lemieux. Yes, I said it. Better than Wayne Gretzky, better than Bobby Orr, better than Gordie Howe. This next guy I'm voting for collects 1949 Bowman, but he's a huge hockey fan. And he lives in Canada. And he bought a trimmed Jim Brown card at the National a couple years ago. And I've always said, if you can get me to watch a channel where you're showing off a ton of hockey cards and I enjoy it and keep watching it, then you must be doing a good job. And for that reason, I'm voting for my buddy Mike, Canadian Cards. Just an awesome channel, great guy. The founder of the Snoop spoof video that has become famous on YouTube. And as you can tell, or not tell, but I mentioned 4 hockey players, and that's about the extent of my hockey knowledge. So let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on Lemieux. So again, this vote for my buddy Mike, Canadian Cards. I'm now in Homestead, Pennsylvania, home of the Homestead Grays, just outside of downtown Pittsburgh. And to be honest, this is the first time I've ever seen this mural of Josh Gibson here. Bob Lewis told me about it. So my next nominee, I didn't really have a Pittsburgh affiliation with, but he PCs a particular catcher. So I thought, well, this is one of the greatest catchers of all time. And I might even rank him number one, although I obviously didn't see him play. But if the stories are true of how he hit, I think I would pick him over Bench or Campanella. So my choice is Big Scott 35. And I met Scott at the National in 2020, and we were actually standing next to each other at a table, and the table was the seller of the Japanese cards, Robert from Prestige Collectibles, and he introduced me to Scott, and just love Scott's channel. His laugh is infectious. Love when he says something, he cracks himself up. Shows a lot of great cards, interacts in the community. See him on a lot of chats. Always see him on Mike O's live auctions. He does get into wrestling and Star Wars, and I have to admit I kind of change and tune him out there, but that's the beauty of YouTube. You don't have to love everything they do, but I love some of what he does, and I'm sure the Star Wars collectors and wrestling guys enjoy his channel for that reason as well. So again, my vote for Scott, Big Scott 35. Staying on the University of Pittsburgh, which used to be where Forbes Field stood. And here's the remaining part of Forbes Field, the left field wall of Forbes Field. Right over here is where Bill Mazeroski hit his famous home run in 1960 over Yogi Berra's head. This particular player, or I'm sorry, not player, YouTuber that I'm going to vote for is a big Yankees fan. In particular, one Yankee, and that's Babe Ruth. His collection is amazing. If I'm not wrong, I believe that all his cards are of Babe Ruth. And that person would be Josh J. Stottlemyre 1. Gets my vote for the Hall of Fame. Standing here in left field of once was Forbes Field. Here I am outside of PNC Park, home of Pittsburgh's minor league baseball team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're going to start with the statue of Willie Pop Stargell. And this next guy I'm going to vote for, the team that he likes really didn't have any ties here to Pittsburgh. So what I decided to do was pick two players, because this guy collects two players. And both of these guys kind of played in the same era as the players he likes. So one, I'm going to start with Willie Stargell. Of course, I have someone beeping their lights. Let's walk up here, see if I can zoom in a little bit and talk. Actually, maybe I don't have to get all the way up. Well, yeah, it might be cooler. So that's Roberto Clemente's statue up here. And you see they already got kids. Or not already, they've got people on their signs wearing Clemente. And this bridge over here is the Clemente Bridge. Right now it's under construction, but normally on game days, you can walk from downtown, where all the main part of the city is, and you can park over there and walk over the bridge right down the middle of it to the game, and it's always kind of cool to do. So this guy I'm going to nominate would, if he was coming to a game, he would park his car downtown, and he's a big fan of Carl Yastrzemski and Ted Williams. And like I said, I felt Stargell and Clemente kind of similar to those two guys, played in the same era. And my vote for the 2023 YouTube Sports Hall of Fame is Jim S. And would have voted for Jim last year, just missed it by a day. Man, all this construction around here, I hope you guys can hear me. Met Jim twice at the National, great guy. Little dirt from Three River Stadium. These are all the stadiums that Clemente played in. Can't really even see the dirt. Forbes Field. What do we have over here? Santrese Field, Carolina, Puerto Rico. And I guess that's it. That makes sense because he didn't play here at PNC. But Jim is just a great channel. One of the most down-to-earth guys you're ever going to meet. Just loves his cards. Swear he comments on every single person's video. and just a great guy, an honor to call you a friend. Picker Jim S. The first time I saw one of this guy's videos, he was outside this card shop opening some packs with some other guys, and he's from Oregon. He was traveling the country with his daughter, and I was like, oh my gosh, this card shop is literally a mile up the road from where I live, called Clubhouse Cards. So let's go inside and take a look, and we'll talk a little bit about the YouTuber that I'm going to nominate. So this guy, he does a lot of auctions, and he does a lot of shots. And don't watch all of his videos, but I like to get on there and just say hey, and I wish the guy did a little more videos showing his cards, because he's got an amazing card collection, and that's Jimmy Guns. And one of the main reasons I'm voting for Jimmy is because of the charity work he does, and helps other YouTubers that might be a little low on cash, and he sends some of his proceeds to him. So here I am on the side of the Roberto Clemente Museum. Anytime you have an opportunity to make a difference in the world and you don't, you're wasting your time on earth. And the guy that I'm going to vote for is a huge Clemente fan. I know what he does for a living, and I think he definitely helps people on earth. And he has a great collection. Fellow misfit, so I thought this was very fit for him to be honored with Roberto Clemente here for my vote for Lou Rock TV. I know this is on his goal to come to this museum, and it is well worth it. It's incredible inside. You know, you do your channel with Bob, and I have two daughters myself who in a week are going to turn 21, and it seems like yesterday that they were Bob's age. So enjoy it, Lou. Wish I had done something like you did with Bob, so I'd have those memories when they were that age. But a guy that's well deserving, and so glad that I got to vote for you this year. So my vote with Roberto, Lou Rock TV. For this selection, I decided to come visit a friend of mine to talk about this guy. Met this guy at the National in Chicago, hung out with him again in Atlantic City, one of my roommates. Got to vote for one of the Misfits. My goal is to get the last two Misfits into the Hall of Fame, and then I'll be the only Misfit not in the Hall of Fame. And this guy's collection is amazingly good. When I say amazingly, because he doesn't always show it all, it's sneaky good. He's got boxing, and then he does those great MVP videos and Cy Young videos. So let's go visit this Hall of Famer here and see if he knows who I'm talking about.
What you knocking on my door like you're a policeman? I got the baby monitor.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Hey,
okay.
Elite Hunters, James.
Yeah?
I think you should vote for him, dude.
You do?
Yeah. As a Hall of Famer, you should respect my opinion. Or not, I don't care. But hey, one thing.
Yeah.
If you got any milk, dude?
Do I have any milk? What would you give me for that milk? Seriously?
Milk?
Dude. All right. Thanks, Bob. All right, man. See you later. Take care. Geez, I know I got one more person I wanted to vote for, and I can't think of who it was. So I'm back here in Homestead. I'm on the Homestead Bridge. That's the Monongahela River. But if you continue going south by boat on this river, you'll end up in Denora, where Stan Musial and Ken Griffey are from. So the final guy I'm going to vote for is a huge Satchel Paige fan. And I think you already know who this is going to be based on the earlier part of this video, but I couldn't leave my boy Scott out. Huge Satchel Paige fan. What else can you say about Scott? His art is awesome. His commercial is unique. He's just one of my best friends in the community, and I'm glad to call him a friend. Scott, I'm going to end this here. I'm not going to lie, it's a little scary staying on this bridge. So Scott, Reindeer Studios, my final vote.